morning, everyone. I want to first speak directly today to a group of New Yorkers that this city relies upon, but who are so often mistreated and ignored. The Deliveristas of our city, those gathered here today in this room, the overflow, as well as those across the 5 boroughs, do not have the luxury of taking a day off. They labor in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow. They deliver us food, medicine, basic necessities. They traverse across New York City long past the point of exhaustion. And still they have to endure indignity after indignity. The indignity is not abstract, and the offenders are not elusive. They are the corporations that profit off of this labor and then immediately rip these same workers off. I speak of companies like Uber and DoorDash, which reconfigured their apps so that tip options only appeared after customers placed their orders. This may seem like a procedural change, but the effect has been devastating for so many across the city. The average DoorDash or Uber tip as a result of this change dropped from what was $3.66 per delivery to a mere 93 cents. The average tip on an app like Grubhub, which still has the tipping option available before checkout, is more than $2. Our Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, led by our incredible Commissioner, Sam Levine, blew the whistle on these rollbacks earlier this week and revealed that in totality, these companies effectively denied these workers more than $550 million in tips. Our work to hold companies such as these accountable for their misconduct has only just begun. Today, we are announcing our legal filing against MotoClick, another delivery company, for having stolen tips and money from their workers and failing to comply with minimum wage pay laws. The DCWP received 20 complaints and immediately launched an investigation, and MotoClick still refused to comply. For context, investigations can often be launched from simply one complaint. This was 20 complaints for a single organization. Companies such as this clearly believe that this is still the politics of the past. This is still a moment where those with the least also possess the least recourse. They are wrong. The Deliveristas of the city have the city on their side. No longer will we tolerate corporate mistreatment of workers across these 5 boroughs, which is why we have sent warning letters to 60 app companies, warning them that new laws protecting workers will take effect on January 26th of this year, and that those laws will be enforced. I want to be very clear. City Hall does not desire to have an adversarial relationship with any business operating in our city. We cannot tell the story of the city without also telling the story of business. To those, however, who think they can make a profit while stealing from their workers, while breaking the law, make no mistake, we will have those workers' backs each and every time. Thank you very much.
Wow. We're so proud and excited to have you, Mr. Mayor Mamdani. Thank you so much for choosing to be here this morning. And also thank you for our Deputy Mayor Julie Su, our Senator Julia Salazar, our new Commissioner Sam Levine for being here. And I have to say, the people behind me and the mayor have the audacity to send a clear message to these corporations on the first 2 weeks. And let that be clear to these corporations. The days of unchecked exploitation are over. Right? A new era of worker power has already begun. And what a way to show it. Deliveristas finally have a mayor that cares, that listens, and will fight with them, not just for them. and a mayor who already made it clear that every policy that this city makes, workers will be first, like los Deliveristas Unidos. In less than 2 weeks, we have seen already this administration already exposed what workers have known since day one, that DoorDash and Uber has been stealing their money. And $500 million was stolen by removing the tipping option. And this shows, the report shows that the city will shine the light on the corporate lies, the dirty tricks, and will hold them accountable. In the first 2 weeks, I have to say, of this administration, the new mayor's newly appointed DCWP Commissioner, Sam Levine, made his first stop here to this place, in that room, and met with the Deliverista leaders to reaffirm that he will work with the union, Los Deliveristas Unidos and Workers' Justice Project, reaffirming that we'll close every loophole that exists in the current Deliverista laws, will fully enforce the rights that Deliveristas fought and won, and will use every legal power at his disposal to protect 80,000 New Yorkers who deliver for the city of New York. And I have to say, Los Deliverista leaders love everything the commissioner said, and they're fired up to put up the fight that he needs to hold these apps accountable. And also, we have a mayor who's giving finally faith to workers who lost it in the last 5 years, is giving hope that a future is possible, for a better future is possible for them and their families. And many want to say, Mr. Mayor, Deliveristas here are ready to work with you, to win big with you, and deliver everything Deliveristas and working class New Yorkers deserve. Livable wages, job security, a real pathway to middle class and economic prosperity in this city that we love and call home, New York City. In this new era, Los Deliveristas Unidos are ready to work together, are ready to win big for 80,000 app delivery workers who complete 2.64 million deliveries every week. Yes, that number. They are the workforce engine of one of the fastest growing industries in our city. An industry that every New Yorker depends to get food, groceries, and medicine, and everything else. New York City runs on Deliverista power. And these policies that I'm about to mention, that we're going to work hand in hand, is the core survival of 80,000 app delivery workers who do this work with dignity and pride. These policies is about making sure that Deliverista gets home safe to their families. It's about that they can pay rent, they can put food on the table, can live with dignity. Because for too long, multi-billion-dollar corporations have treated Los Deliveristas as disposable. And I have to say, the past 4 years when we started organizing, these apps have bullied us, have retaliated us, have tried to intimidate, and have been profiting from fear. But those days are over. We have Deliverista power, and we have a mayor from day one and from his campaign has already committed that he's going to give Deliveristas a seat at the table. But it will also make sure that every policy that this city makes, it's about protecting workers and Deliveristas. The future is ours. This is why this moment is important for Deliveristas in this room. By the way, which is the Deliverista room, for them, you represent hope, Mr. Mayor. For the first time, they feel seen and listened. They believe a better future is possible for them and their families. And we're ready to work with you and your entire administration. And these are the policy priorities that we're ready to tackle in your first year. We're going to increase minimum pay. Woo! Deliveristas want $35 an hour, I have to say that. With full pay and transparency, and close every loophole that the apps fought and one in the previous administration on the corrupt one, making it clear. Will fully enforce Local 1332, the Deliverista protection that will deliver job stability, ending the algorithm firings without cost. And we will close that loophole that exists by creating advance notices and expanding the definition of protection, because that was a big one that was left. We will deliver the Deliverista hub that was promised by the previous administration for 4 years. And we'll finally, I know we will make it happen, because a worker-centered infrastructure is the way to honor and respect 80,000 delivery workers who do this work across the city. And yes, a new era has begun, a Deliverista power era. And we're ready to win, to fight, to deliver what 80,000 delivery workers deserve and have won the right to live with dignity in this city. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
As State Senator Salazar and my close friend, Assembly Member Farah Forrest always says, closed mouths don't get fed. So, important to make the demands. And now, if I could please introduce our Deputy Mayor for Economic Justice, Julie Su.
Thank you so much. Gracias a todos por estar aquí el día de hoy. I am the first Deputy Mayor for Economic Justice in New York City, and that is because of the vision of this mayor to create a true city of not just economic growth and not just economic strength, but actual economic justice. I have spent my entire life fighting alongside working people who have always been told to expect less, who have been told to keep their heads down and know their place. And as Deputy Mayor for Economic Justice for this city, 2 days ago, I was at LaGuardia at Terminal C with our mayor, greeting working class taxi workers. And now today, we are here to celebrate the Deliveristas who keep our city on the move. My work will take me to union halls, to job sites, to picket lines, and roll calls. It will take me where the working people of this city are, because for us, a new era is not just a slogan, it's a promise. Your courage, your organizing, and your refusal to accept less are the reason there have been real, meaningful wins for workers across this city. And now, you have a partner in City Hall. And it's not just one person, it's an entire team. And just as we have shown this week, this team will always go to bat for working people. We know affordability is not just about the cost of things. It's about the dignity of work. That's why we have to make sure that jobs pay enough, that every worker gets a just day's pay for a hard day's work, and workers can organize and bargain collectively for their rights on the job. That's why we have to make sure our Deliveristas have safety on the job, a decent wage for their work, and tips that go directly into their pockets. Today's lawsuit against MotoClick is not just an action against one company. It is a warning to every app-based company from this administration. You cannot treat workers like they are expendable and get away with it. We are also holding the company's individuals accountable. And if needed, we will shut down their operation in New York City. If you don't play by New York City's rules, you don't get to play in New York City. Let me be clear. The era of predatory apps raking in billions of dollars off the backs of workers and consumers is over. In the Mamdani era, compliance with workers' rights laws is not optional. Workers' place is in City Hall, and economic justice will mean justice for all. Now, I'm so pleased to introduce our Commissioner of the DCWP, Sam Levine.
Welcome. Thank you, Mayor Mamdani. Thank you, Lihia, Worker Justice Project. Thank you to Senator Salazar, who's joining us in the office of Congresswoman Velasquez and Councilmember Gutierrez. This is a team effort. I'm Sam Levine. I'm Commissioner of the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, DCWP. As Commissioner, My mission, alongside the mayor and deputy mayor, is to fight for workers every day and enforce the law against those who exploit you. And we are wasting no time in getting to work. Every single day this week, we took action to defend workers, enforce the law, and put billion-dollar corporations on notice that there is a new era in New York City. On Monday, right here in this building, I met with our partners at Workers' Justice Project and Los Deliveristas Unidos about how we continue to support and uplift the 80,000 delivery workers in our city who keep New York moving. And we planned ahead, laying the groundwork for enforcing the city's worker protection laws, including new legislation going into effect this month. On Tuesday, DCWP exposed exactly why these worker protections are so critical. In a new report, we revealed how Uber and DoorDash manipulated their tipping interface to drive down worker pay by more than $500 million. It's unconscionable, and starting this month, it'll be illegal. On Wednesday, with support from DCWP, our colleagues in the law department appeared in court, fighting Uber and DoorDash's last-ditch effort to skirt tipping protection laws. And last night, DCWP launched a compliance blitz, sending warning notices to delivery app companies like Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber, making clear that they need to start following the city's delivery worker laws. This morning, as we speak, our colleagues in the law department are back in court, battling Instacart as the company tries to gut minimum pay rules for grocery delivery workers. And just 2 hours ago, DCWP filed a lawsuit against MotoClick, a restaurant-facing app that brazenly ignored the minimum pay rate and stole pay and tips from workers, robbing them of millions of dollars. Many of the folks in this room experienced this abuse firsthand, facing outrageous $10 penalties for canceled orders, and being told falsely that they actually owed money to the company, a company that was stealing from them. And you might have noticed something a little different about this lawsuit. We are not only suing MotoClick, seeking full pay and damages for the workers they cheated, but we're suing the company's CEO. No executive should be exploiting workers to line their own pockets. We will fight in court to make workers whole and ensure this can never happen again in our city. This week set the new standard. The era of predatory companies, as the deputy mayor said, raking in billions off the backs of workers and consumers is over, and not a moment too soon. If an app fails to comply with the minimum pay rate and pay you what you're owed, if an app unfairly takes you off the schedule, if an app screws around with your tips, as we've seen, know that DCWP will hold them accountable, take them to court, and make sure there are consequences. I brought with me a little pamphlet about Worker Bill of Rights. Our goal is to have to reprint this, because it's going to get a lot longer over the next 4 years. Under this administration, there is zero tolerance for companies that flout the law or endanger their own workers. No more loopholes, no more treating the working people of this city as disposable. I look forward to meeting with you today and answering your questions. And in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead, I look forward to fighting side by side with all of you to build a city that champions the rights and the dignity of working people. You deserve nothing less. Thanks very much.
Good morning. My name is Alejo Grajales. I'm a leader of Los Deliveristas Unidos, a member of Worker Justice Project. I'm Deliverista in New York for 10 years, working for almost all apps, Uber, DoorDash, Rely, Grubhub, and most recently, MotoClick. I want to welcome Mayor Mamdani, Deputy Mayor Sue, and DCWP Commissioner Levine to the home of Los Deliveristas Unidos, our union. We are standing today in the Deliverista room. This is where we organize. This is where we plan how to fight the apps. This is where we share our struggles and our dreams. Having you here today send us a clear message to the app companies. Deliveristas are not alone anymore. Deliveristas run the streets. We feed this city. And now, with our mayor and the city standing with us, we are bringing Deliverista power into City Hall, and we are going to be unstoppable. For years, we had to fight just to be recognized as workers. We had to fight for our humanity. The apps tried to stop us every step of the way, but we kept fighting. We marched, we rallied, we stood together, and our strength has always been our solidarity. That solidarity helped us win history rights, but the fight is not over. We want this work to be a real profession with fair pay, safety, and stability so we can support our families. After years of broken promise and betrayal, this moment gives us hope again. Hope that this city will finally treat Deliveristas with dignity and respect. And that's why I will never stay silent when I see injustice, especially what is happening right now with Motoclick. Motoclick steals wage, ignores minimum pay law, and treats workers like disposable machines. While hiding behind an algorithm, they send us long distances in rain or snow, expect impossible delivery times, and punish us for slowing down to stay safe. And after all that, some workers earn just $5 a delivery or less. I'm not alone. My comrade Lucas worked 7 days a week for Motoclick, 12 hours a day, and sometimes went home with nothing because the app didn't send orders but still kept him connected. No fairness, no explanation, just punishment. That is why we are ready to work with you, Mayor Mamdani and Commissioner Levine, to hold Motoclick and all apps company accountable and to protect every Deliverista's pay, safety, and dignity. Mayor Mamdani, we are ready for the new Deliverista power era. So let's say it loud and clear. Who's got the power?
We got the power!
Who got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Deliverista power!
What kind of power?
Deliverista power!
Thank you so much.
We'll take on-topic questions, please, to the mayor, the deputy mayor, and the commissioner. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question for the commissioner. I was hoping you could, if you could explain exactly how your tenureship is going to be a departure from your predecessor. I mean, under your predecessor, DCWP secured wage theft settlements against DoorDash. It oversaw, the rollout of the minimum pay law. So if you could just explain. So there are reports that Harvey Epstein was appointed the chair of the Consumer and Worker Protection Committee in the City Council. Will you be meeting with him?
No, absolutely. I'm excited to meet with him. He's been a champion for workers for a long time. And in terms of what this administration means for the working people of the city, I think you're seeing it right here. I think this is the first time a mayor has visited Workers' Justice Project, and here Mayor Mamdani is in his first, what day is it, Mayor? Day 15. We're here to announce a lawsuit where we're not only naming the company trying to shut down the operation, but name the CEO. We're blowing the whistle on the large app companies, driving down worker tips by more than $500 million. There's a new era for workers in the city, and I think this is the evidence of it.
Thank you. We'll take a few more questions for the mayor before he has to depart, and then the deputy mayor and commissioner will be available. Yeah, go ahead.
Could you explain in a little more detail what the impact of this legal filing will be for workers, the delivery workers?
So I think first and foremost, as the commissioner took us through, DCWP and the hard-working members of DCWP who are here in this building as well have been hard at work fighting for New Yorkers over the course of these last few weeks. We have seen the findings that have been announced. We have seen the actions that they have taken. Today is also about the lawsuit that has been put in place in regards to Motoclick. And what we were saying, what we also just heard, is about a company that didn't just deny workers tips in the manner of the more than $500 million that we spoke of earlier, but also charged these workers, oftentimes stole money from these workers, refused to abide by minimum pay rates for these workers. And so this is an announcement not only for the 20 who came forward to allege this kind of behavior, but also for every Deliverista across the city, that this is an indicator of the new era that we are here in New York City. And that is a new era where it's not just holding Motoclick to account, but it's holding any app company to account if they are operating outside of the rules and the laws of New York City.
Andrew.
Mayor, I'm wondering, how concerned are you that some of these app companies will find new loopholes? They've done it before, whether it's moving the tipping back to the end of the purchase or finding some other means with an algorithm or high tech to get around the laws that take effect January 26th?
What New Yorkers deserve is a DCWP that is just as relentless in its pursuit of justice and its pursuit of fairness as companies like MotoClick are in their pursuit of illegality. And that is exactly how I see our DCWP and the entire work of the City Hall. And we are frankly lucky in that we are not alone in this work. We have incredible partners, whether it be the representatives of the Deliveristas themselves, whether it be champions in the state legislature like State Senator Julia Salazar, or whether it be the people of New York City who time and again have shown their care and their respect for the work that is being done in stark contrast to companies like MotoClick.
Okay, one more question for the mayor. Go ahead, Sophia.
Hi. So just building on that a little, there's clearly a lot that you want to do with DCWP. I'm curious if you have any updates about funding. I know, last year or in the last administration, the department was underfunded. They testified at hearings about these new bills that are going into effect on January 26th that they need a lot more money to implement them. What are you thinking about that?
I think that we have to give our DCWP the ingredients necessary to deliver on this kind of a mandate. There's no question in my mind. And when it comes to the specifics of the budget, that is something that we'll be sharing with the preliminary.
Thank you, guys. So the mayor's going to go this way, and then we have the commissioner and the deputy mayor who can still answer questions.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner. Questions for the commissioner and deputy mayor? Yes,
Yes.
right here.
Commissioner, this is Rosanna Cafecito Break. I have a question for you. Will you be interested in exploring other city worker rights, such as over the last 5 years, city workers who said no to the vaccine mandate, who haven't gotten their jobs back, will you also be exploring those city workers who have yet to see their day and their justice?
We're going to work throughout the year and throughout my tenure, and I know the mayor's tenure, to make New York the most worker-friendly city in the United States. I said during my remarks, we pass out this great booklet on the Worker Bill of Rights. My goal is to have to reprint this, to expand it, to give our workers due rights, and to restore dignity to the working people of the city.
Yeah, go ahead.
In practice, how are you going to enforce that law and make the actual their interfaces back to allow debate earlier in the process?
It's going to happen on January 26th when the new tipping law takes effect. Obviously, we were in court with some of the app companies yesterday. They are fighting it. I expect that the city is going to prevail. And the new law will require that these companies stop hiding the option to tip from consumers. The fact is the people of the city want to support Deliveristas. We saw with the apps that didn't manipulate their interface, the tips held steady and were much higher than on DoorDash and Grubhub. The people of the city want to support delivery workers. Uber and DoorDash need to get out of the way, and that's what the law is going to require.
Yeah, Hannah.
Hi, Commissioner. I'm wondering, Uber and DoorDash, they have been persistent in pursuing legal action on these types of issues historically. Are you concerned at all that this isn't going to let up? Are you working with them at all in compromise? I know they have argued this is like a government overreach. What do you say to that?
I wish these companies put half the effort they do into filing lawsuits into actually supporting their workers that make their businesses run. Uber and DoorDash do not make the food, they don't serve the food, they don't ride the bikes, they don't repair the bikes, they don't deliver the food. It's time that we stand up for the people who actually make Deliveristas a core part of the city, but actually make our economy work, and that's the working people of New York.
Yeah, Nick.
Hi, Commissioner. Can you confirm this investigation began under the previous administration?
It did.
So then what is there anything that you are doing new or different?
We filed it.
Would it not have been filed?
I don't want to speculate what the previous administration would have done. What I can say is we filed the lawsuit this morning. We named the CEO. I expect I'm going to get calls from different companies that are angry about it, but our priority is holding these companies accountable for ripping off workers, and that's what we're doing.
Does naming the CEO have some practical consequences?
Yeah, if he ran off with workers' money, we're going to try to get it back.
Yeah, Josie.
Is that going to be a practice going forward when DCWP sues companies? Do you intend to continue to name the CEOs or C-suite execs in those suits?
It's going to depend on the facts and circumstances, but I have a track record on this. At the FTC, we named Amazon executives, we named Adobe executives, we named the CEO of Drizzly when we took action against that company. I really believe that when companies can break the law, but it's often individual executives who make the decision that it's okay to rip off workers, that it's okay to rip off consumers. And especially with the biggest companies who can easily write a check, It's important to have a single standard of justice, rule of law, the same rule of law for top executives as we have for the working people of the city, and that means holding them accountable when they break the law.
Do you think that could put too much of a target on their back? I know, like, kind of crazy example, but like obviously the Luigi Migion killing happened. Things are very polarized right now. Do you have any concerns about that practice?
You know, New Yorkers who speed or who park illegally, they get tickets. I don't know why executives should have immunity when they break the law.
Kelly.
Hi, Commissioner. I wanted to ask you, you're filing this lawsuit, but these workers have been ripped off for a long time. Filing the lawsuit doesn't mean people are going to get money right away. The law goes into effect. People have to come forward. I mean, practically, how do you actually see these people getting their money back? Because it can take months.
That's right. So one way is because we name the CEO. That means that even if the company doesn't have any money, we're going to be able, if we prevail in the lawsuit, to get a judgment against the CEO and hopefully recover assets from him personally if we prevail in the lawsuit. But bigger picture, you're absolutely right. I realize that litigation can be too slow. Investigations can be too slow. One of my goals is to speed up the pace that we bring enforcement actions like MotorClick. That is going to require more resources for the department. And it's also going to require a willingness to actually take these companies to court. I think we made clear today that we're willing to do so, and we're just getting started.
Kate.
If these companies, drivers get their tips, what's the motivation to withhold or to change the acts to make it more difficult for them to be tipped?
I think that's a question for Uber and DoorDash. It's really disappointing that the city, through its city council, implemented a higher minimum pay, and the first thing they did was make it harder for the people of the city to support the Deliveristas. Other companies did not do that. Tips held steady. Again, I think that really shows that the problem isn't with New Yorkers not trying to support their drivers. It is these companies that are trying to put their own profits before the interests of their own workers.
All right, more questions? Sophia, quick.
Yeah, what is the end goal here? Like, you're announcing all of these regulations. Do you want to see like a TLC-style licensing scheme of these companies? Are you working towards some bigger end goal in regards to regulation?
I want these companies to start following the law. It's great to get up here and announce a lawsuit. I'm proud of the lawsuit we put together. But I'd much rather live in a city where companies actually followed the laws that the city passed, actually paid people a minimum wage, actually made it easier for consumers to tip, actually stopped deactivating people by algorithm for no reason. So my goal is for companies to follow the law. If that takes filing a suit, we're going to do it. But my hope is they actually realize they're in a new era and start coming into compliance. And that's why we sent letters last night.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to have this way. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, there you have it. Rosangel Perez of Cafecito break in Brooklyn. To wrap up, we are here at the Workers' Justice Project with the Deliveristas. One of the things that they're asking for is $35 an hour, and then this lawsuit is for tips that they have not received, which is up in the millions. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, Cafecito break if you want to see more of this.
Yes,
all right,
I will.
guys.